Hi, my name's Phil from Fun to Fix and welcome to my channel. This time I'm going to show you how you remove a screen off an iPad. I'm going to use this 7th gen to demonstrate with, but this is the same process for most iPads anyway. Stay tuned. If you're new to my channel, hope you enjoy it, and don't forget to subscribe by pressing the button here for more videos like this. Let's get started. To start with, you're going to need a bunch of tools as follows. An anti-static mat where you can put all the little screws into little compartments so you know where they came from as you're dismantling the iPad. A good supply of opening picks. These should range from very thin opening picks like this, which are nice and flexible, to thick and non-flexible, which you can use to prop the corners open when you've got them apart. A sucker, so I'm going to use this to grab the screen and help lift it up while you're trying to get the picks in underneath. A good quality screwdriver, which will help you undo the screws that are inside the iPad. A spudger, so this is a little piece of plastic that's got a really sort of thin end, but it's quite good for actually getting inside and moving stuff. And a pointy end here, which again you can just get in and flick things up with it, so great little tool to have. And finally, a heat blower. So this is the best tool for opening the iPads. You're going to need this to loosen all of the sticky around the outer edge. So now that we've got all the tools that we need, let's begin. So I'll be using this iPad as an example. This is an iPad 7th gen. It does actually have, and you probably can't see, but it's got a very slight crack just across the screen down here, very, very thin. But hopefully that will almost behave the same as if the screen wasn't cracked at all. But obviously I'll need to get past that bit. When we come down to the crack, you can just see it there, look. So once I get down to that crack bit, I just need to make sure I can continue on without lifting that and cracking the screen even further. Just want to make life a little bit easier. So first thing what you need to do is you need to understand the iPad itself. So you need to know where parts are and the parts that you need to avoid, where you can actually put the picks and where you can't put the picks. To show you what I mean, let's jump to the future where I've opened this iPad and we can take a look inside and I can show you the places to avoid and where you can and can't push the picks in. So let's do that. So here we are, this is what it looks like when you've actually opened it up. So let's just have a look around what we have on the iPad. So here we have the front facing camera, and here's where the home button would be, so it's in that orientation. So if you look down here, this is, let me zoom in on that because it's a bit hard to see. So if you look here, we have the cable. So this is the cable that is connecting the front screen to behind there. And then you also have the home button down here, which runs down there. Shots. There we go. So you've got the home button, which is here. Come too far in, there we go. So we've got the home button, which is here, and this piece connection runs down there, along there, and then goes underneath the main screen where it connects to the circuit board. So you've got to watch out for that wire there, and that one, that connector. Zoom out, but now I've gone a bit too far. Okay, so you need to be watching out for that one and that one there when you're cutting down this side. But it's really, really thin, so the glue isn't really bad on here. It's really, really thin on the side. So really, you don't need to go too mad. So, see how thin that is. But then you've got, see how thick? Quite a thick bit of stick here, look at this bit, quite a large piece of sticky there, and a bit on that corner, a bit stickier in the corner here. This is the sticky on the thing which went down there. So these are the two antennas you need to watch out for at the bottom here. So these are like plastic, so you need to be careful that you're good to come in from this side and just keep going along that side and just keep going along. Again, a very thin connection down this side here, so not too much to worry about. So firstly for this, which is an iPad 7, I know that this edge down here, so there is the home button, this edge down here is quite available to open with using the picks. There's no connections, there's no ribbon cables or anything down there. So therefore we're going to start by trying to lift this side down here. So I'm going to orientate the iPad so I can work this way because I'm right-handed, so I like to do that. So let's use the sucker and let's put the sucker in place. And then what we're now going to do is use the blower. So my blower, I've got set to 250 degrees and I've got it on 6 out of 8 blow, and that uses enough to heat this up. What you need to do is run the heat on this side until it's kind of hot to touch, and at that point then it should be good to work on. Now I'm also going to have the more sort of bit not as flexible as this one. This is like the next one up, so it's just something that can actually get under and just start loosening the actual glue that's underneath here. So let's do that. So first of all, heat the part of the edge up so we can get this underneath. So this bit can be tricky, but just persevere. So you need to lift this just to see whether you can get this underneath. And if not, then just persevere until you can. And if it doesn't lift, apply more heat. There we go. You saw that then, it lifted up quite easy. I've now got the first pick in. So now it should be a lot easier after that. All we need to do is start working down towards the corner, but I'm going to be heating as I go along so that I can get these picks. This pick should go quite easy. This should raise up easily as you're moving along. You shouldn't be pushing. If you're pushing and you're seeing the glass bend, you're going to crack it. So in this case, I'm not too worried because this screen is going to get replaced. But if you're taking this off to do something inside and you don't want to crack the glass, take your time. Just take your time, simple as that. So let's just do that. Let's get down now to this corner here. See that? It's easily just sliding along. So it's lifting up very, very easily. I'm going to put that further in just so I can hold that gap open. Now these corners do have, just turn it off. These corners will have a lot more glue on them around this side here. So really you want to concentrate and put a bit more heat on here so it can lift the corner. If it's going to crack, it'll probably crack when you're trying to lift a corner. So let's try and get that heat right there. So at this point here now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take one of the much firmer and stiffer picks and I'm going to place this in the corner here to hold this corner open for me so it doesn't stick back down. Some of the glue's still on the screen and the actual frame, so you just don't want it to stick back down while I work towards here. Now if you remember from the iPad being open, you have your Bluetooth and your Wi-Fi antennas in this bottom here, so you just want to make sure you're going along towards the button and then you shouldn't cut anything or damage them. That feels really tight there, so I'm not going to force it. I'm just going to put some more heat on because it shouldn't feel tight. You can almost see when you put the heat on, you can almost see the glass start to lift up and you'll see the gap between the frame and your pick open up a bit, so you know that you've actually got through that bit of sticky. I'm going a bit deeper in with the pick here as well. But there is a lot, the pick is getting a bit stuck in there now. But there we go, so you can see some of the sticky coming out. That's looking good, so I've got most of that unstuck right through to the home button. So I'm going to take another thick one and I'm going to place that in here, just to again keep that side up there. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go back to this edge here, because we do have some more aerials and things on here which I don't want to disturb. So I'm going to concentrate and come this way now. I can take the sucker off, I don't need the sucker anymore. So let's continue on. It's lifting easily now. So again, I'm going to put a thicker one just in here to keep that middle bit up. And continue. Now I've got a crack in my screen here, so I just want to really make sure I get across that crack without sort of smashing the glass anymore. Might still smash, but if yours wasn't cracked, then you just continue on. But let me see if I can raise that crack up as well. Hopefully, if I get under the sticky, it will raise the crack up as well as the actual glass itself. See, that bit's coming up on its own, so I need to get this bit here up. So I'm going to sucker this. Oh, yeah, I just pressed down and cracked it, but that's fine. To say, this is shattered glass anyway, so just need to get past this bit here. There we go. Okay, so that's fine. So I'm past the broken bit now. You wouldn't have encountered that, because if your glass hasn't broken, then you wouldn't have encountered it. If it is broken anyway, it doesn't really matter, does it? As you're taking it off, you can crack it, it doesn't matter, because this is getting thrown away anyway. Just protect the home button, do not damage that, because in these ones, the home button is mated to the logic board, so you will need to remove that off the screen to put it on a new screen. So just be careful you don't damage the home button. So again, let's continue on, let's work to this corner, again applying a bit more heat up here. There isn't anything, if this is not a cellular version, then there's nothing under here. If it is a cellular version, you will have your cell aerial underneath here. You'll notice that because if you look on the back, you'll have a bit of black plastic here. So that's because your cellular aerials fit inside it and they won't be able to transmit through the aluminium body, so they have a piece of plastic to make it easier. So let's continue going around. Again, applying a bit more heat in the corners, because the corners do have a lot more glue in than the edges. So again, what I'm going to do, I'm going to get another one of these thick picks and I'm going to put that in the corner, just stop that corner going back down. Again, I can feel there's a lot of glue in this top part here, but now we're heading towards the front facing camera. So as we get towards it, we need to make sure the pick only goes slightly in, because we don't want to damage the camera or put any glue on the face of the camera. Glue does go quite deep here. I can feel, you'll feel the glue, feel it sticky as you push into it. Now we're getting closer to that camera, so I'm going to start withdrawing the pick now just to get past the camera, then we can go deep again to carry on to the next corner. Let's go shallow to get past the camera. There we go. Can go deep again to continue on. Now the crack on mine is coming into this corner here, so again we may have a problem. Let's just see how it goes. So as this corner is cracked, I'm going to try and get the edge of the pick under the parts there and lift them together like that. There we go. So I managed to get around that cracked corner. You can see, yeah, you can see there's a crack there, can't you? Look at the reflection there. Yep. So again, what I'm going to do is take another large pick and insert that just under here to keep this edge up. When I move away from the corner, I'll put that in the corner. So now we're on what I would call the dangerous edge now. So we're okay on this edge to about down here, because this is where your connections start for your screen. So you're going to have your home button connection around here, as we saw later on, or as we saw earlier on, I should say, when I showed you with it open, and the main connectors are about down here. So we should be okay to come down here to about here, and then we'll do it very, very shallow for the rest of it. But again, I've got a crack in the screen there, so hopefully I can get past that. So let's continue on. Again, move that pick into the corner. Just keep that edge. Now we've got another crack here, so it might be hard getting across this crack, but I'll try. Yep, so I've got past it, so that's good. So now I'm going to start going pretty shallow with the pick, so I don't want to be anywhere near the cables. Keep this edge open with another one of these. There we go. I've got another crack coming up here, so I might have a problem with that, but let's just see. But again, if you've not got a crack on your screen, then you should be able to just bring these down nice and gently. You won't have the problems I'm having here with the cracks, so it should be easy if you've got a full screen. Cracked screens can be a bit of a pain. Can see if I can get under this crack bit. Yes, good. Lifted with it. So I'm going to bring this down a bit further. So I've got another crack. It's starting to lift now because it's getting well heated up now. So again, a bit more heat on the corners, because you've got more glue in the corners than you have on the edges. past this last main crack. Next, the angle of that crack, I just can't get on, so I'm just going to use this tool just to raise the glass up a little bit, but I would advise against using one of these when you are working normally, because what these do is scratch the inside of the screen. Just use that just so I can get past that bit there. Right, again now I'm going to be very, very shallow, because under here is the home button. So I'm coming out here. Cracks. So I'm going to leave that there, and I'm going to start working from this back to this way, but it's very shattered down here, so this is going to make life just a little bit messy, but let's just see if we can do the best. Get plenty of heat on, hopefully it will raise. Lots of little pieces here not lifted, so I'm just going to go underneath those with this tool. If you're doing a complete screen that isn't shattered, then all of this should lift up pretty easy. Bit. So we've only got this little bit left to do now. Let's put a bit more heat on that because it's starting to stick it in. And we're there. Hopefully that'll lift off when we come to lift it. So the way that these open is like a book. So home button down there, an iPad 7 is going to open, it's going to go that way like that. So let's see if we can lift it that way now. If any is stuck down, I guess you've lint on it or something, then obviously just should be able to just lever it off. Camera just stuck down a bit again, so this side is nearly there, just a bit of that. You may find you've got little bits of glue just hanging in there. Sometimes when you lift it you can have a look in and you can see where the glue is. So for instance, you can see there, so this bit of glue here is holding it. So what I tend to do there is I'll get some cutters and I'll just chop that. Now that is completely loose at that bit, so I've got a bit going on down here, so let's pull this out. Again, I've got a little bit there, so let's just chop that. That's it. I've still got all the glue released off that bottom edge now. Gently lift it up. I can move all these out of the way. Let's set this down. And there we have it.